Spectacular and thrilling premiere movie action, Sunday night, 8:30.
In 1977, 108,000 people at the MCG, Collingwood and North Melbourne.
Last year, Collingwood, and they lead at three-quarter time by 27 points in the 77 grand final. Magro to boot them back into attack towards the half-forward line it goes. Second grab, Rene King can't quite collect it. Carlton's there, but the mark will be paid. Rene King wasting no time. Magpies plenty of confidence down towards full forward to Twiggy Dunn. Beats them all over the back it goes. It's going to be a free kick North Melbourne's way to be taken by Brent Croswell. Croswell moves down to mind Moore in the third quarter. Peter Moore has kicked 4 goals for the Magpies. Croswell out towards the centre wing. Kieran in front. Thompson will go for the big punch from behind. No, he goes for the grab. That's confidence. The big fella plucks it, and what a game he's played in the ruck too. Glenn Thompson will boot the Magpies back into attack. They lead by 27 points. Down towards Twiggy Dunn. He's got front position. Gumble now with the back. Second grab will be paid. And Dunn is within scoring distance.
Well, he's got the breeze blowing in his face here, but it'll be a difficult shot, Peter, I'd say. Twiggy Dunn coming in now to try and put Collingwood 33 points in front. And we've played about a minute and a half of this last quarter of the 1977 grand final. The shot, what's the result? It veers off at the last moment, and the ball is through for 1 point. So Collingwood go to a 28-point lead. They're 9 goals, 13-67. To North Melbourne, 4 goals, 15-39. We wait now for the ball to come back into play. Brent Croswell kicking off. Shoots the ball back towards the centre half-back position. Rene Kink got his hand taken nicely away from the pack by Xavier Tanner. He's away. Played a fairly good game too. He's had a great tussle with Mark Magro. Packet goes towards Manasseh. Oh, he's missed the ball. Kicked off the ground by Bridus. Back towards that half-forward line. Down goes Manasseh. He'll get a push in the back and a free kick down there short of the half-back line. Collingwood 67 points to North Melbourne 39 points just on the 2-minute mark of this last quarter.
Vanessa from the half-back line towards the centre wing, looking for a big fellow Thompson again. Big pack of players out there. Centre wing on the outer side. Mark's going to be paid, excuse me, North Melbourne's way to be taken by Gary Carlton. So North Melbourne to move into attack. They trail by 28 points. Carlton down towards the full forward line. Bryder setting himself. Misjudged it very badly though. Doug lost there for Collingwood. High kick in the air, back towards centre wing. North Melbourne's mark was Shaw, taken by Shilbush, and turned back it goes. No, Nettlefold. Back towards full forward. Worthington setting himself. Couldn't mark the ball. Cast over at Bridus again. Only 20 metres out. Left foot snap by Bridus right across the face of goals. And it's going to be a boundary throw in. North Melbourne into attack. Approaching the 3-minute mark of this final quarter. Magpies leading by 28 points.
Ball out of bounds in the forward pocket, about 25 metres around from the North Melbourne goal. Pressure on the Collingwood defence. Baker and Thompson go for the knockout. Thompson gets a hand pass, but it's a bad one to Schimmelbusch. He's got a chance to snap for goal. He does. It looks all right. Is it going through? No, it's 1 point. So it's 27 points the difference at the 3-minute mark of this last quarter of the 1977 grand final. Can the Magpies hang on and be the first side ever to win a grand final from the bottom position? They were the wooden spooners last year, as we wait now for the ball to come back into play by Kevin Worthington, the Collingwood full-back. Oh, he's gone for a little short kick for himself, not on the mark. Baker left him unattended that time. He gets the ball back there, and a mark taken here by Andrew Ireland, a little longer than centre half back. Not a good kick, it's a bad one. Back it goes towards Henshaw. Backs up well, boots the ball back towards centre half forward. Chance for Magro to mark, and he does. He's played a great game in the centre, Magro. At centre half back, the mark to Magro. At the 4-minute mark, Collingwood still 27 points in front.
Magro out towards the centre wing on the outer side of the ground, looking for Rene King. Plenty of North Melbourne players, and Gumbleton takes the mark. Centre wing outer side, wasting no time out the Nettlefold. Down towards the half-forward line for North Melbourne, almost a full forward. In front is Doug. Beautiful mark, goes back to Sutton. Sutton's been switched to the forward line for North Melbourne. He's within scoring distance, only about 30 metres out, and as good as directly in front. Well, this could make the difference pretty interesting. Sutton lining up. Distance should be no problem at all. Drop punt on its way, and he's put it through. 5 minutes of play in the final quarter. Can North Melbourne come back? 67 plays 46. The difference is 21 points. The 1977 grand final.
Well, there's a long way to go yet. North have got plenty of time, and another goal would make this a heck of a fight. There's the mark by Sutton. Not a bad sort of a confident mark. Got right out of business that time. Back to the centre now. It'll be Thompson. Hasn't been off the ball all day against Crackers Keenan. Up she goes. Free kick to Thompson. Put his hand right in the middle of his back, and Thompson now ready to send Collingwood to attack. A long kick down towards centre half forward. Out comes Moore. Couldn't hold the mark. Well backed up that time by Montgomery. Been a darn good player for North Melbourne. Back she goes as a go for North now as Dent has got a clear run. He'll fire for the goal. It's not a good kick. That's a mark here to Bob. Tobacco, and that's a fucking business. That's his fourth goal, and North are really firing again. So that makes the difference now. Only 15 points, and North Melbourne right back in the fight at the 6-minute mark of this last quarter of the 1977 grand final. Barassi's made plenty of change. He's got Sutton down there on the forward line. Dent's down at centre half forward, and they're starting to look a lot better again, North. A goal again would make them full of running.
Right, 67 plays 52. Magpies lead by 15 points. 6 minutes of play have elapsed the final quarter. Can North Melbourne come back? Magpies leading by 27 points at three-quarter time. Thompson ruck again, taken by Nettlefold. Hurried kick, not an effective one, but taken in turn by Byrne. Handles a bad one. Can he back it up? He does. Byrne gets boot the ball. He goes straight to Arnold Brightis. Oh, he spilled it, but he's going to steady down. He's about to play on. And Arnold Brightis is within scoring distance. It's about 50 metres out. Stylus of Engels, Baker leads, but Brightis will line up and bang for goal. Drop punt is on its way, and it's offline. It's 1 point, if that. It is sneaked in for a point. So the difference is 14 points. Almost at the 7-minute mark. The 1977 grand final, the final quarter. Can the Magpies hang on? There's the score. 67 plays 53. The Magpies by 14 points.
And we've played just on 7 minutes of this last quarter. I know this made the difference to North Melbourne coming on the ground as Billy Nettlefold. He's been in everything so far. Up it goes. Thompson's got the mark. We see Thompson take that mark out there at half-back. Collingwood under pressure now. 14 points in front as the ball goes around towards the wing position. Up they get. The ball pushed out the cable. In goes Kink, but there's Nettlefold again, getting a hand pass out. Magro chips in, getting the ball away, and the umpire's fouled a free kick. It'll go to Magro. Now it's going to North Melbourne, is it? Yes, North Melbourne. Around the neck, and it goes to Tanner. Tanner shoots the ball back over the half-forward line. Up the back is where's the go now for Brightis. Chance, oh, he's past the wrong bloke, Vanessa. He hand passed the Dent by mistake, and Dent has got an easy goal, and now it's only 8 points the difference. There's David Dent playing at centre half forward. 7 goals, 17-59 North Melbourne. The Collingwood 9-13, 67. Oh, golly, what will happen to that guy if they lose this match, Collingwood? They'll just about execute him, I would say.
Well, what a grand final. North Melbourne right back in it. The Magpies lead whittled down to only 8 points. Here's Carlton for North Melbourne. Can he collect it? Firmly out towards Henshaw. Back towards the half-forward line. He's Brightis streaming out. Can he get there in time? Centre wing taken in turn by Vanessa. Back towards the half-forward line. But there's Frank Gumbleton. Wants to play on. Goes to Hamble and turn out towards Stephen Nick. He's back in defence. Kick is smothered. Has to have a way in which always spun it. Centre wing on the outer side of the ground. Nettlefold's in there again. He's the player with the ball from the bottom of that pack. It's going to be a ball up. Centre wing on the outer side. And Betts is about to come on the ground for the Magpies. Their lead of 27 points has been whittled down to only 8 points at the 9-minute mark of this final quarter. Chance again. Back towards the half-forward line. Big leap by Sutton. Free kick for Shaw to Casson. Casson right on the edge there, about 65 metres out from goal. They waste no time. North Melbourne have a run on. Down towards 4-4 to go. Looking there for Brightis. Second grab. He's come down with the ball. And North Melbourne have the chance to only trail by 2 points. Arnold Brightis to date has kicked only 5 behinds. No goals and 5 behinds. Oh.
And got in serious trouble down there, as we can see in the picture. Got it, Collingwood in the hands of his teammates there. The trainer's coming out. They're going to take him off the ground.
Well, Arnold Brightis can make the difference, only 2 points. As I mentioned, he's kicked 5 behinds in the game to date. He's only about 30 metres out. Slightest of angles. There's Doug Gott, who's in plenty of trouble. In fact, player's going to be held up until Doug Gott's in heaps of trouble there, actually. Very hard to determine what the injury is, but the stretcher is coming out and players being held up. So Arnold Brightus will have to settle down. Doug got, I hope it's not a broken leg or anything, Lou.
Well, I don't know what it... Well, it's very hard to work out. He's had trouble with his knee, and he doesn't look the best, of course, and they're taking him off the ground. That is the rule of the VFL. If a player is a stretcher case, well, they've got to hold up play. Arnold Brightus still with the ball there, about 30 metres out, yet to score a goal for North. He's kicked 5 points. And, of course, if he gets this goal, it'll make the difference only 2 points. And we're at the 10.5-minute mark of this last quarter of the 1977 Grand Final. We'll certainly have a bit of time on, so it'll be a pretty long quarter, I should imagine. There's Doug Got. It's bad luck for him, but the game must go on as Betts takes his place. And we wait now for Arnold Brightus from about 30 metres out. He wouldn't be 30 metres out, Arnold. North Melbourne have come to light in this last quarter. Barassi making a couple of changes. And Netafol coming on the ground, replacing Blight, has made the world of difference to them. Little nuggety bloke, ex-Richmond player. Another one Richmond's given away.
Well, Louis, North Melbourne have had 3 goals to date in the first 11 minutes of play in this final quarter, and Brightus can make it 4 and reduce the leeway from 27 points to only 2. A very vital kick indeed. He's only kicked 5 behinds to date. Lines up, and I think he's missed again. 6 behind for Arnold Brightus, and the Magpies breathe again. They lead by 7 points at the 12-minute mark of the grand final of season 77.
Now everybody knows Canberra can. Canberra can show you an easy way to get a video recorder. Rent it with no long-term contract. And at any time, you can take advantage of Canberra's special rental purchase offer. You receive 50% of your first-year payments off the purchase price. Yes, 50% off the purchase price. And no long-term rental contract. Ring Canberra now for an obligation-free in-home demonstration. Yes, Canberra can.
They say I'm the biggest ham around. Well, it takes the biggest to know the best. And my vote goes to these terrific Mayfair hams. All sizes, all price ranges. And with Christmas coming on, you've just got to have Mayfair in the house. There'll be lots of friends and relatives around, God bless them. And that's no time for a ham that turns out to be a turkey. Mayfair, they're just as juicy as you are.
Who's the biggest turkey around, Dougie?
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the premiere of a great new soft drink, the premiere of Diet Coke.
Introducing Diet Coke. You're gonna drink it just for the taste of it. Living good with Diet Coke. This is the one from Coca-Cola. We're gonna taste with just 1 calorie. Just for the taste of it. Diet Coke.
IBM put a lot of what it knows about computers into the IBM personal computer. Not to make it complicated, but to make it simple. So it's easy to understand and easy to use. IBM made its personal computer to help a person be more productive, to help a person be more creative. And those are good reasons for a person to feel good. The IBM personal computer, another small computer from IBM.
2:45 Sunday, 7 Sport takes you live to Football Park in Adelaide for the South Australian National Football League's preliminary final, when the Sturt Double Blues face up to a determined Norwood side. The South Australian preliminary final, exclusive to 7 Sport.
7 points. Collingwood looking a bit shaky at the moment as it goes out to Thompson and Keenan. The ball knocked down. Dunn gets the kick, not a good one. A chance for Magro to mark. He's upended. Umpire says play on as Tanner drives it back towards the full forward zone. Out comes Worthington, punched away again by Hyde. There's a go now for Dents. He's got a clear run, he'll fire. Here he goes for the goals. It looks, no, it's not. It's 1 point, and it's only 6 points the difference. David Dents. My golly, here's an inspiring captain for you. Got him down there at the centre half forward position to put a bit of life into that North Melbourne forward line. Looked hopeless in the third quarter, but it's certainly come to life now with Sutton and Dents down there. We wait now for the ball to come back into play. Thompson at the back. Ball pushed to the ground, and the ball is out of bounds. Out of bounds on that half-forward line. Still in North Melbourne's attacking zone. about 60 metres around from their goal. Ball back into play now. Thompson and Keenan. There's a push in the back, Nilly, and Thompson will take the free kick. By golly, he's put up a great show today, Thompson. He's been on the ball all day. He's had about 14 kicks and he's been a great player. The ball falls a bit short. Back it comes to Ick. The ball smothered, grabbed by Max Richardson. He drives the ball down towards that half-forward line. Over went Anderson that time. This allowed Montgomery to pick it up easy. It'll be a free kick to Montgomery. He grabbed him, wasn't within a mile of the ball that time. And Montgomery takes the free kick at half-back for North Melbourne. Still 6 points the difference in favour of Collingwood.
Almost at the 14-minute mark of the final quarter, Montgomery turned towards the centre wing. Collingwood's mark in front. Wayne Richardson to drive the Magpies into attack. Well, in fact, Doug got going off the ground. Could be a blessing in disguise for the Magpies because North had a run on. Maybe it stopped it. Wayne Richardson towards the half-forward line. Carlton setting himself behind. Thumped down the ground. Chance for Henshaw, and the boundary line will beat him. A boundary throw-in. Half-forward line for the Magpies. On the outer side of the ground. The difference only 6 points. 67 plays 61. Twiggy Dunn against Keenan. Just taken by Cable. Cable and turned back towards the centre of the ground. Benches there, can't collect it. Chance to centre now for Billy Picken. Short pass and turn goes towards the half-forward line. Bouncing free. The race is on now. Centre wing on the outer member side of the ground. Well done, Chilbush outpaced Andrew Ireland. And North Melbourne back into attack towards the half-forward line. Robert Hyde can't collect it. Briders is there for North Melbourne. Chance for Byrne. Byrne settles down into Oxford. Ball to Baker. Scores to be level. Baker couldn't miss. And he scores a level. We might be back here next week. Scores a level in the 1977 Grand Final at the 15-minute mark. Baker's fifth goal. And it's 67 points apiece. What a game.
What a game. 67 points apiece. And, of course, North Melbourne looked as though they were buried at three-quarter time. And I said to you, Pete, you can't write them off because anything can happen in a grand final. North Melbourne supporters coming to life because it did look very sick when the Magpies did lead by 27 points. Collingwood stopping to a walk and not looking too hot at the moment. You can see a couple of those backmen running with the ball. They're running up and down the one spot. Back to the centre. Thompson against Keenan. Knocked out by Thompson. Pushed back towards the centre by North Melbourne. There's a go now for Magro. Put Barham under pressure. The ball comes down to Collingwood as we see Ireland trying to get it clear, and the umpire's going to ball it up just about on the edge of the white line. Well, actually, it is on the edge of the white line, out towards the wing position, but a little bit up towards North Melbourne's half-forward line. Scores dead level at the moment. Knocked out to Wayne Richardson. He shoots the ball down towards centre half-forward. And there's Montgomery. He's played a great gun. Pushed out by Twiggy Dunn. He's going to an open goal. He fires. And he's put it through for 1 point. Oh, there was a chance of a lifetime. Look at Twiggy Dunn. Terribly disappointed about that kick. But at least the Magpies have hit the front by a point. And we're at the 15-minute mark of this last quarter. There's the scores. 8-19, 67 North Melbourne. To Collingwood 9-14, 68. Only a point the difference as the ball goes back towards the centre half-back position. Punched out down towards the Collingwood half-forward line. There's Gordon and Els battling hard. The ball knocked along the ground by Gordon. The ball is out of bounds about 50 metres around from the Collingwood goal. Now the pressure is on the North Melbourne defence. Knocked out by Dunn. There's a go now for Tanner to get the ball clear. Down goes Shaw. Tanner still playing it ahead. He showed plenty of confidence as he gets clear. He's grabbed it behind the ball outside. And a free kick goes there to Collingwood, and the free kick to go there to Wayne Richardson at centre field.
Almost at the 17-minute mark now of the grand final. Magpies by 1 point. Wayne Richardson taking plenty of time. Going for a long torpedo punt. Moore setting himself. Big pack of players there, though. Taken by Stephen Ick and turned by Rene Kink. He's grabbed but not in possession. Free kick to Rene Kink. And Kink is within scoring distance. Only about 45 metres out, possibly 50, directly in front. The Magpies lead by 1 point. They seem to have an invincible lead of 27 points at three-quarter time as Kink lines up. Shoots for goal, and I think he's missed. So the Magpies lead by 2 points. Almost at the 18-minute mark now of the grand final. Collingwood by 2 points. There's the score, 69-67. Brent Croswell, they're actually pulling off many moves this final quarter out towards half-back. In front, the chance of Magray. Couldn't quite collect it. Half-forward line for the Collingwood side. Handball goes out towards Byrne. Byrne turned towards centre winger Xavier Tanner. Tanner towards Stanley Elves. Elves off for a run. What's the pass like down towards 4-foot over back Worthington? Chance of Casson. In trouble. Bundled out of the way. Only about 20 metres out from North Melbourne's goal. Arnold Brightus trying to swing onto his right boot. Harry kick high in the air. No mark will be paid here. Thumped down the ground. And turn it goes towards Manasseh. Manasseh back towards halfback. It's dangerous. Xavier Tanner wants to play on. He can line up only 40 metres out. Bangs in towards goal. And Thompson setting himself, and it's forced through for 1 point. So the difference is 1 point again. 19 minutes of play in the final quarter.
Well, this is a real ring-a-ding game. There's no doubt about that. Only a point the difference. And we're approaching the 19-minute mark. But this quarter will go for a long time because we have to hold up play for Doug Gott to be taken off on a stretcher in this last quarter. The 1977 grand final is certainly turning out to be a real thriller. There's Keenan and Thompson having a battle. Knocked out the Shaw. Round it goes towards the wing position, out wide. And it beats the pack, and the ball is out of bounds on the centre wing position on the outer side. Oh, this crowd is certainly getting their money's worth today. Only a point the difference in favour of Collingwood. Which way will it go? As we see the ball grabbed now by Alves, doing a great job out towards Shaw, but it beats him and the ball is out of bounds. This time it's creeping around towards the North Melbourne goal. It's about 70 metres around from their goal on their half-forward line. By golly, she looks worried too. Ball back into play again. There we see Cable going for a quick hurry snap that time, and the ball is out of bounds. Out of bounds, but it's gradually creeping around towards the North Melbourne goal. This time about 65 metres. Bucket goes to Hyde, but his kicker smothers a go for Arnold Brightus. Can he pick it up? He goes down with Manasseh. Manasseh's first to his feet, drives the ball back, but Cable's there to take the mark. The little fellow might come to life in this last quarter because he's been very quiet all day. Ball out there at half forward. We wait now for Cable to go for a pass. That's a good one, and Burns got it. And this fella could easily kick this. He's about 60 metres out, but he's got the wind right on his tail. If he gets this, it'll put North in front by 5 points. Approaching the 20-minute mark. The kick. Oh, it's not a good one. And it's out of bounds in the forward pocket. Now the pressure is really on the Collingwood defence as they lead by 1 point.
20 minutes of play in this final quarter. Thompson, uncontested in the ruck. Handball's out to Worthington. That's dangerous. Worthington will go for the handball and turn out towards half-back. Taken by Billy Picken. Loves the run, and he's off. He'll go for a long handball. I think he'll have to hurry, though he does. Oh, it's dangerous. Centre wing. Chance of Barham. Barham and turn towards Wearmouth. He inflects it. He can. Oh, he missed the bounce. Oh, it's been pushed aside. Schimbush and Hop the shoot. Very close to the boundary line, and in fact a boundary throw-in. But the Magpies now into attack. They lead by a point. 21 minutes of play approaching in the final quarter. And that ball went so fast, there's no ruckman on the spot. Rene King contesting. Chance for Byrne. Cable's there. Plenty of North Melbourne players. Cable out towards Xavier Tanner. By God, what a game he's played. Handball gives Keenan the run. Towards the centre. Quickly done. Oh, spilled it badly. Taken by Gumberland. 12. Back towards Montgomery. In trouble, Montgomery breaks clear. He goes for a long kick down towards full forward. He's about 70 metres out. In towards Arnold Brightus. He's got it. Well, Brightus has kicked 6 behinds to date. Well, will it be 7 behinds, and will the scores be level, or will Arnold Brightus kick straight for the first time in the game and put North Melbourne in front? 22 minutes of play approaching the 1977 grand final. Collingwood lead by a point. Brightus directly in front, only about 25 metres out, lining up for his first goal or his 7th behind. Drop punt.
He's put it through for a point.
It's his 7th behind and scores a level.
Oh, golly, we could be back here next week again.
Could cost another 100,000.
Now everybody knows Canberra can. Rent or buy, Canberra can. You can rely on Canberra phone and ask the man, and he'll say
yes, Canberra can. You know, you don't stay in the entertainment business for 26 years unless you've really got something to offer. At Canberra TV, we've got all the home entertainment you could want. For sale, for rent. Just give us a call.
We're here to lend a hand, and we'll say
yes, Canberra can.
State Bank, Easy Bank.
Need cash.
State Bank.
After hours.
Easy Bank.
Easy Bank.
State Bank.
Push button.
Easy Bank.
Withdraw.
State Bank.
7 a.m.
Easy Easy Bank.
So easy.
State Bank.
Easy Bank.
Easy Bank.
We're proud
State Bank.
of our bank.
Easy Bank.
State Bank.
State Bank.
No risk.
Inside the wheels of your car, your brakes are working hard, but little things do go wrong. Fluid leaks, parts wear out, overheating occurs. Your brakes become less efficient. Every brake system needs a Payton's Brakes checkup every 6 months to find the little faults before they become big ones. It's only $6, and it's good to know your brakes are safe. Payton's Brakes are the brake specialists. We have been for a long time. Check in for a checkup. See Payton's Brakes for clutches too.
Carpet and comfort in your car naturally go together. Precision moulded car carpets are so new, so with it, and they're being fitted to cars right throughout Australia. The secret's in Super Trim's press moulding process. Precision moulded car carpets are available in a wide range of colours, so why not call Super Trim now on 874-5599. Better still, call in and see them Saturday or all day Sunday at 27 Rooks Road, Nunawading. Precision moulded car carpets, now available from Repco Outlet.
Okay, scores dead level, 69 points apiece. There's the scoreboard in the 1977 Grand Final, approaching the 21-minute mark, or over the 21-minute mark, actually. And the ball back into play. It'll be a long quarter as the ball goes out there towards that half-back line. Punched away. Has to go for Byrne. An open goal. He fires. And this looks like 1 point and North a bit the front now. Look at North Melbourne score, 9-21 to Collingwood, 9-15. So North go to 70 points to Collingwood 69. And by golly, the Magpies have got to come to life now as the ball is driven out there towards Magro. Can he mark it? Punched away by Count, but comes to Cable. But he overruns the ball. Picked up here by Hyde. The ball driven out towards Twiggy Dunn and Gumbledon. There they go, battling hard. It's Gumbledon smothering the ball. Twiggy Dunn's got it now. He's going to go for a run. He's clear. Puts the ball well up there towards that full forward zone. There's Croswell and Moore going for it. Up the back is a little Wearmouth. Can he get clear? One of his tail is Henshaw, but he's grabbed on the line. And the ball is out of bounds. This time it's in the Collingwood forward pocket, only about 25 metres around from their goal. They've got a score here to make the scores level with a point or kick a goal and be in front. Grabbed here by Montgomery. He's played a fantastic game. Out it goes there to Stan Ellis. He had a ball on that wing position there today. He's been unbeatable. They've got Anderson on him now. Put Gordon out of business for about 3 quarters. Short pass. It's okay, and there's a good mark to Xavier Tanner, playing a great game too. He's really come to life since half-time. Xavier Tanner. North Melbourne in front by a point at the 23.5-minute mark as the ball goes out there wide. Arnold Brightis playing a great game, but not kicking too straight. Let's see what he can do with this. The ball is shot up towards the full forward zone. Up there's Baker, got the mark. Baker's got it. This could be nice. He's already kicked by. And he's got the chance to put him in right in front by 7 points. There's Thompson looking a very dejected player.
24 minutes of play will absolutely in this final quarter.
Here he goes now. Baker. This could sew it up for North Melbourne as he fires it through, and North Melbourne hit the front by 7 points. That's Baker's 6th goal. There he is, holding his hands up like if he's the world champion heavyweight. Number 29. He certainly played a pretty good game today, kicking 6 goals. And North Melbourne now looking good for the 1977 Grand Final. Collingwood, to me, look as though they're stopped to a war.
Bond on the ground too, the Magpies, number 15 coming on. And Anderson is off the ground, but there's still a long way to go. For a Collingwood supporter, don't despair, because I would say there's probably about 6 minutes of play at least remaining. 24.5 minutes just ticked over, but I would say this quarter will run for about 31 minutes at least. So, North Melbourne back in front by 7 points. Cable. There's Casson, can't break clear. Bond's handle goes back to Montgomery. His kick smothered. It's very scrambly, desperate football. Oh, it's the half-forward line of the Magpies, taken turn by Montgomery again. Out towards the centre wing, member side of the ground, and the real chases on now. Boundary line will beat them all. It's going to be a boundary throw in centre wing. North Melbourne leading by 7 points. Well, talk about impossible dreams. We mentioned Collingwood before, but North Melbourne's could come through. They've trailed by 27 points at 3/4 time. They now lead by 7. Casson, centre wing, he's come to life too. Back towards the half-forward line for North Melbourne. It's out of balance in the full. The Magpies to move into attack. Free kick to be taken almost in the centre wing by Billy Picken. Boost towards the half-forward line. Dunn pushed out. Turner goes by Bond. Good fire on the chance. Plenty of pace this fellow. streaming goalwards. Henshaw and Hopper shoot, and another boundary throw in. 25 and a half minutes of play now. We're into time on, probably about 5 minutes remaining. North Melbourne by 7 points in the 1977 Grand Final.
North Melbourne playing with a lot of determination. They've got a lot of spirit. They've got their spirit up now as the ball comes down here. Good play by Tanner as he clears. He's been a real match winner since half-time. And there's the ball. Just Tanner showing a lot of confidence, running away from his Collingwood opponents who appear to be tired at the moment. Out she goes wide, and there's Baker. Oh, he's got confidence now. Already kicked 6 goals. He'd be about 70 metres out. This would be a miraculous goal if he could kick this one. Here he goes, Baker, number 29. Oh, it's a shocking kick off the side of his boot, but I don't think North Melbourne supporters would growl about him because he's kicked 6 goals. And Baker in your screen there, a player that was rejected by North Melbourne, then given away by Geelong back to North, and he looks like he could be the winner for the 1977 Grand Final for North Melbourne. Ball pushed out that time by Magro, grabbed by Casson. Has to go now for Baker again. He gets under the ball. Coming out now is Worthington. Can he pick it up? It'll bounce all right, but he's still finding it very hard to pick it up because there's David Dench on his tail. He knocks it over to Montgomery, drives it up towards the full forward zone. Brightus in front, Thompson at the back. He misses the mark. Here's a go now for Manasseh, trying to streak away. He does. He'll go for the long kick, but not a good one. It drops a bit short, and one in the hands of Carlton. They're making mistakes galore, Collingwood, at the 26-minute mark as North Melbourne lead by 7 points in the 1977 Grand Final. There's a beautiful pass. Stan Hals has got out there on his own all day.
He's got about 25 kicks, I think, Louis. Well, 27-minute mark of the Grand Final about to tick over. Short pass to Nettlefold, and by golly, did he bring North to life, and he came off three-quarter time. Down towards full forward. Sutton can't quite judge it well, though. It's going to bounce over the line, I think, for a boundary throw-in. North Melbourne deep into attack. 28 minutes approaching now. It's a free kick, in fact. Baker clapping Betts there. Free kick going Collingwood's way. Short pass goes out towards half-back, taken by Robert Hyde. He wants to hurry up. And in about 3 minutes remaining, the Magpies trail by 7 points out to Betts. Half-back line, Betts in turn towards the centre. Very short kick, though. North Melbourne's half-back line has been superb in this final quarter. Back towards the half-forward line, Thompson, how he lifts his legs. He raced after the ball, and he's played a mighty game for the Magpies. He's very tight indeed. Chimmelbush the chance. Barham trying to break through, can't do so. It's going to be a ball up. Centre wing, member side, 28 minutes approaching. And North Melbourne lead by 7 points in the 1977 Grand Final. And it certainly looks like North's second flag in the last 4 years.
There's the bounce again. Thompson knocks it out to Richardson. He's grabbed a bit high and he'll get a free kick. A free kick to Wayne Richardson. Little short of the half-back position up towards centre wing. Time running out for Collingwood. They trail by 7 points. And the ball driven out there down to the boundary line. But North Melbourne's Montgomery's played a darn good game. Gets the ball back from Chimmelbush. Punched away by Montgomery. A beautiful little play to Nettlefold. And it's out of bounds on the full. And a penalty free kick to go to Collingwood, and to take the free kick will be Picking down there at half-back.
Almost the 29-minute mark, Louis.
Approaching the 29-minute mark. North Melbourne in front by 7 points. The ball driven over towards the half-forward line. Wearmouth trying to get clear. But he can't. There's Gordon going, but he's grabbed by 3 North Melbourne defenders there, and the umpire will ball it up on Collingwood's half-forward line about 75 metres out from the goal. They're trailing by 7 points, just on 29 minutes gone. Knocked out by Gumble to the Chimmelbush. The ball driven back there towards that wing position. Ireland couldn't take the mark. Grabbed by Pickham, but it's a very high kick, putting the Collingwood forwards under the hammer now. There we see the ball pushed out again, backed up by Henshaw. Puckett goes towards Hick. He kicks it off the ground, playing it safe and goes for the boundary line. That's the way to play defensive football when you can't break clear. Don't take a chance. As we wait now for the ball to come back into play. It'll be Keenan and Dunn. Down to Bond. He gets a hand pass. Out to Magro. He's grabbed. He snaps for goal. Up towards Moore. And has a go for Moore. He fires. Oh, and he's put it through. Oh, 1 point. Gully. Oh, that makes the difference. 1 goal. Now, if Collingwood can get a goal, it'll be a draw so far. And we're approaching the 30-minute mark of this last quarter. But there could be about 2 minutes to go, I'd say.
I'd say probably about 90 seconds to 2 minutes, Louis. Brent Croswell kicking off for North Melbourne. The Magpies need a goal to level the scores. Out towards half-back. Magro couldn't collect it. Free kick to Shaw, Collingwood's way. Taking with Robert Hyde. He wants to hurry on. He's wasting time, and Collingwood can't afford that. Hyde down towards full forward. Moore sitting himself. Can't grab a chance for Twiggy Dunn. Brent Croswell there. They're all fumbling. Half-forward line almost to the forward pocket for the Magpies. taken by Frank Gumbleton. He can't get an effective boot to the ball. Wayne Richmond the chance. The boundary throw in. It's only about 10 metres around from Collingwood behind post. They need a goal to tie the scores. About a minute of play remaining. Bond. Down he goes. North Melbourne players galore on that back line. They're all smothering. Umpire allowing play to go on. Back towards half-back it goes. Big lead by Ireland. On the ground, the chance for Renee King. Out it goes to Betts. He can't break clear. He's pushed in the back. Play goes on. Casson appealing for a free kick. Won't get one. It's going to be a ball up about 45 metres out from the Collingwood goal. And they trail by 6 points. The 30-minute mark, 30-and-a-half-minute mark of the final quarter.
Will time run out for Collingwood? Will it be a drawn game as the ball comes down again? Sure. He goes for hand pass. Does it go for kick and a top? He fires. More coming out after it. Right on his tail is Croswell. He fumbles the ball. He can't pick it up more. Down he goes. There's a go now for Magro. Down he goes. And the umpire would say, Magro getting out now. He snaps for goal. What's the result? It's out of bounds on the full. That's the thing that North Melbourne want, I'd say, because at least it's a penalty free kick and a good long kick here will take it away from the danger zone for the time being.
31 minutes have just ticked over, Louis. Not much time to go.
Not much time to go. Collingwood led by 27 points at three-quarter time, I think it was, and now North Melbourne in front by 1 goal. A tremendous recovery by North Melbourne. Ball out towards that half-back line. There's the pack and a mark to Billy Pickin. He better hurry up because time is running out at the 32-minute mark. And scores North Melbourne a goal in front. The kick by Pickin is into the goal square. There's a mark here to someone.
It's in front of Twiggy.
It's a Twiggy done. I think it's got it. Oh, golly, it could be a drawn game.
We might be back here next week.
Oh, golly. Here's the go now. Twiggy Dunn's got the mark. Will it be a drawn match because we're approaching the 33-minute mark. Time must be running out. Twiggy Dunn with the ball, only about 10 metres out from goal. And look at those North Melbourne players on the mark.
Well,
oh, the pressure on this veteran from Collingwood, played over 200 games. Fires for the goal. And he's put it through and scores at that level. Scores at that level. Now what will happen? Can they get it down there and score a point either side? What a climax this is reached.
33 minutes of play, Louis. The siren will sound very shortly.
I'll tell you what, you wouldn't want to have a week half today, would you?
It's going to be a tie for sure. 33 minutes have just ticked over. 33 minutes of play in this final quarter.
And that's Collingwood's first goal for the quarter.
There's the score, 76 points apiece. Well, that was the pressure kick of the season. 34 minutes approaching. No time left. I would say the siren will sound very shortly after this bounce. Can North Melbourne or Collingwood score 8 points? 54 minutes approaching in the final quarter. Scores level. Thompson are contesting. Play still on the centre. Out it goes to Wayne Richardson. Gumbleton can't intercept. Play still on the centre. Dribbling forward, down towards full forward. Shaw spills it. Out it goes towards Manasseh. He wants to sit on it if he can. He handball and turn out towards Betts. Betts from the half-back line towards the centre wing. The siren must sound shortly. Stanell's the chance. Centre wing hurries his boot down towards full forward. Plenty of North Melbourne players there. Andrew Allen will score from behind. His neatest try takes the mark. And that, I think, is made certain of a tie. 34 minutes approaching. Allen with the ball on the half-back line.
And the ball driven out there towards Max Richmond, picked up by Little Ball. He's going for a run. Can he get down there and come? There's the siren, I think, for the end of the game.
It's a draw.
It's a draw. The 1977 grand final is a draw. And we'll be back here next week. By golly, another draw. What a great performance it was by North Melbourne. And also by Collingwood to come back in that final stage because it looked as though they were gone beyond recall. Look, there's a bit of a fight going on.
Little Keenan's doing.
Someone should tell the game's over. It's not worth getting yourself knocked out about.
They played Renee King. It was Peter Keenan. But what a game. Jack Edwards.
Well, what can you say, Jack?
I'm sitting between Jack Edwards, a former North Melbourne champion, and Lou, as we all know, a former Collingwood champion. I'm completely unbiased, and we're all even. It's a tie.
1977, a draw between Collingwood and North Melbourne, 76 points each. A week later, they met in a very historic grand final replay, but it was all North Melbourne. They won their second grand final, beating Collingwood 21-25 to 19-10. We'll now take a break. After the break, back to the 50s. 1954, the grand final between Footscray and Melbourne.
Now, Sheen make high-precision videotapes. Great picture, great colour, insist on Sheen high-precision videotape.
Mum, let me tell you about the 2-litre packs of Patra fruit juice drink. They contain 35% fruit juice. That's 40% more than any other fruit drink. Now, apart from the 40% more goodness, Patra tastes great. And that's what the kids love. And you love Patra fruit juice drinks because you know they're good for them. Orange, orange and mango, and passion fruit, all with 40% more juice. Patra fruit juice drinks, 40% more juice, and a real taste treat, naturally, from Patra.
Boy, oh boy, makes you wonder.
Sure does.
Where did they get the money for that?
Mercantile credit.
Oh,
Where did they get the money for that?
Mercantile credit.
where did they get the money for that?
Mercantile credit.
And that.
And that.
And that.
And that.
Where did they get the money for that?
Aha.
Mercantile credits. You call us.
What is it about Midas muffler shops?
The exhaust on this was making a shocking noise. It was really embarrassing. So I went to a Midas muffler shop, and they told me the muffler had snuffed it. Anyway, I sat down in the waiting room, and 20 minutes and a cup of coffee later, it was all fixed. With no charge for fitting the new muffler.
Come to a Midas muffler shop. We fit our mufflers free.
When your muffler snuffs it, take it to Midas.
I'm looking into the world of the stand-up comic, and it's already getting out of hand. I look like becoming a victim.
How would you like to face a big hostile audience and try to make them laugh?
Please keep that applause going.
Mike Willesee tries Sunday night. Will he get pelted with rotten fruit? A top giggle, it's called.
Now to 1954. 80,000 people at the MCG. Jack McMurray Sr. was the umpire, and it's Footscray and Melbourne.
1954, on a brilliant sunny day in front of 80,000 people, Footscray win their first premiership ever.
And the umpire that day, Lou, was Jack McMurray Jr., and that incidentally was his 4th grand final. And what a day it was for everybody. You said a nice sunny day. I tell you what, those players were primed for the occasion.
Ted, as a player yourself for 4 years, you must have been terribly thrilled, not only for yourself, but for the rest of the team.
It was a magnificent thrill, the greatest thrill in my football career. You noticed Charlie Sutton there, Lou. He went through with Donny Ross to open up the start in the first quarter. There's Peter Box there, just been put down. Hit him, Charlie.
Well, Charlie went after Lance Arnold that time. You see him number 10. There we see Jack Collins. He must have been a great full forward on that grand
He was
final.
a magnificent footballer right through his career. He equalled the grand final record that year, kicking 7 goals. And a great player, very on his day, unbeatable. You notice right, Ronnie McCarthy there, there's Ross again, and Dave Bryden, a great ruckman, with Collins taking another sensational mark over Lance Arnold.
Well, Collins, of course, on that day created or equalled a league record by kicking 7 goals in the grand final. So that was another finder, but you can see the crowd there, and of course the crowds over the years haven't changed, and the Bulldogs certainly must have captured the imagination of the Footscray supporters, Ted, with that great win.
I think Footscray closed down. You notice going through very hard there was Kenny Melville, 38 for Melbourne. Now Stewie Spencer with Melbourne has the ball. Notice all the drop kicking and stab passing in this game, Lou. There goes Roger Duffy, a magnificent half-forward flanker, high flyer, kicked a lot of goals for Footscray. That was a year that those players will never, ever forget. Their only premiership win. Peter Box, Brownlow medalist in 56. There goes Sutton again. Get in there and give it to him again. Onto his left boot, Charlie, and Collins, of course, putting Arnold into the crowd.
Well, they certainly played it with a tough feeling, Footscray. There's no doubt about that. Donny Ross again, he played a magnificent. I think he played in the centre that match,
He did,
Ted.
and Peter Box played a centre-half forward.
And there we see number 4, Christie. But there's a player that we gave you at Collingwood. That's Harvey Stevens, I should say, in the ruck. And what a great year he had that season.
Roger Duffy kicking another goal there, but Harvey Stevens, Lou, finished 4th in the Brownlow medal in 54 to the eventual winner, Roy Wright. There's a quarter-time scores. Footscray 6-3, 39 to Melbourne 1-4-10.
Well, that's how it went all day, Ted, because they were never headed Footscray, and they were too fast all day for the Demons. And, of course, I don't know whether you know this, but you'd know it, Ted. Possibly a lot of our viewers may not know this, but after being defeated by Footscray, the Demons went on to win 5 of the next 6 grand finals.
Yes, they did, and unfortunately, Footscray lost a lot of players after 54. They were cleared away to other clubs and to interstate and country, but it certainly was a great win.
And there's a good mark taken there again. I think that's by Ted Whitten himself. And, Ted, you look a little bit different to what you are today with a short back and side.
I think we all look a little bit different today, but I played on a guy called Jeff McGibbon, a very hard and tough footballer, but always had a lot of good battles with him. Peter Box from centre-half forward again. putting the ball up into attack. But by gee, Lou, they had some good players, Footscray. There's Herb Henderson there, number 25. Now, this is a guy that kept John Coleman, the great John Coleman, down to 4 goals each time he played on him. And Johnny Kerr was a great... There goes Dougie Reynolds now. Look at this fella go.
I think they speeded up the camera for Dougie there. And we see Charlie Sutton, my old opponent there, kick a goal. And, of course...
Well, you know how tough he was.
Well, Charlie was an inspiring leader. We see the centre bounce. There's a very famous number 1 for Melbourne there, Dennis Cordner, who turned out to be one of the best ruckmen the league's ever seen, Ted.
He was a great player, an unorthodox kick of the ball, but he certainly knew how to handle that big knock away from the centre. Ron McCarthy again onto his left boot, being chased by Barassi. Down there is Christie in the goal square for Melbourne. And Footscray get another point on the board. There goes Reynolds there, and Case of Melbourne chasing with Ralph Lane, who is now a member of the Victorian Football League executive and doing a great job. Alan Martin, a half-back flanker, number 19, going in there for the ball for Footscray, with Wally Donald helping out. And, of course, Alberston, number 6 of Melbourne. Half-time scores, you can see there. Is that the half-time scores?
That is, Ted, the half-time scores. And incidentally, Melbourne did have an excuse, Ted, because they claim they had 5 of their star players out in Peter Marquis, Mackenzie, Trevor Johnson, Laidlaw and Ridley.
Don't make excuses. That was our year. That was the Bulldogs' year in 54. Sutton had us primed, and we were ready to take on anybody that year, and that's how it finished. We doubled the score, and you notice this kick of Ron Stockman's here right now. He's only 25 metres out.
And Ron Stockman's the sort of bloke, when he used to go back for his kick, he used to yell out to his teammates, spread out. There's Stockman's style. It's magnificent. Now look at that for a
kick. Well, he did go for a short pass, I know, on that occasion, but Harvey Stevens was a bit slow out of the box. There goes Stewie Spencer.
And what a great player he turned out to be.
Come over from Tasmania, and a magnificent footballer. Harvey Stevens showing pace here.
Ted, did Peter Box he didn't win his Brownlow medal that year, did he?
No, he won the Brownlow medal in 56. Incidentally, there goes Jeff Collins, number 8 for Melbourne. He was the captain of the Demons in that year. He won it in 56, Lou, and Don Ross won Footscray's best and fairest the year he won the medal.
And the best player on the ground in this grand final, there's my old sparring partner again, Charlie Sutton.
The late Brian Gilmore,
yes,
too. Lou played a great game that year.
Back in the centre again, you see Cordner going for the knockout, and once again he won that one, but Harvey Stevens certainly gave him plenty to work on all day because he was a very good player. My golly, Charlie Sutton, as old as he was in those days, is playing pretty well, Ted.
He did well. He sat in the forward pocket alongside Jack Collins, having an occasional run on the ball, and he certainly made his presence felt. There's another great mark by Jack Collins right on the goal line. Now, you watch when Jack kicks this ball. It's a great shot for young footballers today. The leg straight, the taut instep, as we have all heard about. Now, just watch this, the taut instep of the leg. Didn't have time to see it.
That's right, but incidentally, if you look at Jack Collins in that picture before,
beautiful,
he's certainly changed in stature, hasn't he?
Haven't we all? There goes a knock from the centre once more. Peter Box involved, and going through hard, Ron Stockman once more. There's Charlie once more, going through hard. McGibbon, and Charlie looking for a free kick and getting it from Jack McMurray.
Well, Charlie had this very, had the happy knack of umpiring. He used to bluff the umpires, and I think Jack McMurray, as Ted said before, umpiring his 4th grand final, 3/4 time scores. He could bluff anyone, Charlie. He was very good at doing that. Incidentally, Ted, it was the 8th time Footscray had made the finals, and they were the first of the new association clubs to win a flag.
Yeah, it was a magnificent thrill for all concerned. In 51, when I started, Charlie had just taken over as coach, and we made the finals against Essendon, but that was the finish of it. We went out in the first semi, but 54, he'd built up. He had some good young players there, and in 54, they all come to fruition, and they won the flag for him. And by gee, he was a pretty proud man that day, Charlie. There's young McLean, the late Ian McLean, who played for Melbourne on the wing, being chased by Ronnie McCarthy. And, of course, going in hard once more down there is Alberston of Melbourne, doing a bit of a weave from Wally Donald, the back pocket and vice-captain there. Ralph Lane's in there once more, and it was a hard-fought game just the same, Lou. There goes Doug Reynolds once more. This is a nice piece of football. You'll see him take a handball back here, and eventually the ball bounces back into his arms, and he puts it through on his left boot. We could do anything in the last quarter.
Well, you could, because when everything's going your way, let's say luck, and you've got your confidence up, it's very hard to throw. But it was certainly a great win for Footscray, and you must have celebrated pretty well that night, Charlie.
Well, call me Ted. We had a big reception out of the Footscray Town Hall. Johnny Kerr, a great player in that grand final.
Best player on the ground that day.
No doubt about that. And there goes Brian Gilmore once more. Yes, we had a big mirror reception at the Town Hall, and back to the rooms. Hector Lacey, the late Hector Lacey, told all the Footscray supporters to bring their own glass. There must have been 25,000, or there was no grog.
Well, I can recall in those days the crowd running onto the ground, and mainly Footscray supporters. I think that Footscray in that particular year had 11,000 members, but a great win to Footscray, 1954, the first premiership for that club. And as I mentioned before, the first of the new association clubs to win a VFL flag. A great effort, and congratulations. We wish we could turn the clock back.
And we're very proud of it still.
And the scores in that grand final: Footscray 15-12, 102, doubling Melbourne's score 7-9-51. And that was the 1954 VFL grand final. We'll now take a break, but come back with the 1960 grand final, traditional rivals Melbourne and Collingwood. Back soon.
There's one thing I love about Patra orange juice. Very simply, it's the oranger orange juice. If you want your juice any oranger, you'll have to squeeze it yourself. Patra orange juice tastes oranger than others, and that's no idle statement. The only way to describe Patra is that it's the oranger orange juice. Oranger, the full-flavoured orange juice from Patra. Ah, no doubt about it. Patra, the oranger orange juice, is luck.
Although we may offer you a choice of hams, you really have only one choice. Lean, tender, juicy ham. Even our smallest baked ham has to be sugar-cured and gently smoked for at least 2 days before we'll put our name on it. So no matter which ham you choose, you can be absolutely sure you've made the right choice. You see, at Mayfair, we're just as choosy as you are.
Putting energy to good use is very important, especially physical energy. It can keep you fit and healthy. It can also keep Australia as a nation winning in the world of sport. And those are the reasons Esso have also contributed over $1 million to Australian sport in the past 5 years. You could say it's just another way Esso are helping develop Australia's natural resources.
This beautiful JDEC security door, only $99 fitted. Yes, for a few more days only, JDEC can offer you this beautiful security door, the great price of $99 fitted. For only $99 because they make it. That's right. You buy direct from the manufacturer, JDEC, and you save. JDEC security door, only $99 with an automatic closer and Whitco double-sided key lock. Yes, the last day's at $99, and yet still more. The $99 includes measure, quote, and fitting. The lot for only $99. Ring JDEC on 555-2988.
And in our marathon, now we go back to 1960. It's the grand final at the MCG, Melbourne Collingwood. 97,000 people in attendance. Central umpire was Jack Irving. Here's the last quarter.
Telling blows. There's the bounce now. It's Mann who gets the tap down, but Gabelich on the counter one bangs it right down on the forward line. But Thorogood for Melbourne comes in. He handballs over to Case as Case puts his left foot kick over onto the centre wing position, where Dixon very near held it, but it's been knocked down to Burns. Burns, nice little punt pass over to Brewer. Now here's an interesting one. Brewer has come on the ground, the 19th man. We'll see if we can pick up who has gone off there with it, Jeff. It's Brewer on. He looks like he may be on that half-forward flank. His kick has gone out of bounds in the forward pocket for Collingwood.
I didn't know he'd come on.
It's a throw-in. It's wide into where Lord gets a tap down, and Brewer's onto it again. He breaks away. Oh, a rather wild handball, but he's been allowed to get away with it. Oh, as Wiedemann just knocked Thorogood right out the picture, and it's Mann coming up. His kick going out of bounds on that centre wing position once again. Well, there's been some real heavy duels here today as players are throwing themselves in recklessly. Collingwood have not spared themselves, but they have not had the ability that Melbourne have had up to this stage. All over the back to where Wiedemann scouting nicely, but his kick is harried by the Melbourne defenders, and it goes out of bounds on the half-forward flank position. There's Turner's in the centre there, still on Miffin. It's Mann, a lovely knockdown where it's Brewer, though, leading in the race, and once again he scoops up nicely. He screws the ball over in the direction of Gabelich, but Lords cuts in. It's Thorogood who picks the ball up. His kick goes up to over the top of Hasselmann, and it's stripped for Collingwood, and he's scragged as he kicks, and it will go over the line and out of bounds once again. Well, that's a remarkable thing. Brewer's had 3 kicks in as many minutes. It's a tap down again by Mann, and it's Turner coming through was held. Now it's Dixon for Melbourne. He was scragged a little, but it's still play on, and the ball is right on the line, but now it's over. Out of bounds once again. There's an equivalent to, 7 goals the margin between the two sides at this stage, a big margin on a day like today. Wiedemann He's a bit slow in picking that up and doing something with it. He's tackled by Mithen, a little bit lucky to take a free kick. Wiedemann, a free kick on the centre line. He uses the drop punt. It's up to the centre half forward position. Oh, Barassi very nearly marked that, but it's Case coming in, boots strongly off the ground, over into the mud patch in the centre of the ground. Delante has a wild lunge at it, but it's scooped out nicely by Tunbridge to Mithen, but Delante was all over the top of him, and Mithen will take the free kick in the centre of the ground for Melbourne. Has been a good player for Melbourne all day today. His kick, it's a good one. There's plenty of distance up into the centre half forward position where Fripp took a nice one. It's a rather hard one to hold today with this ball greasy. He smothered it nicely and wrapped it down into his stomach. Fripp to take the kick now from Collingwood centre half back position, going straight up the ground. Slipped a little as he kicked, and it's Gablich tried to knock it out there, but it went right through to where, oh, it's right in the middle of about 6 or 7 players. We'll let umpire Irving spread it out himself. Oh, man, he's getting up to some terrific heights in the ruck. The ball's dropped off. It's been swept down onto Melbourne's forward line. Players came through, but it's Tunbridge who picked up nicely. His screw left foot goes down towards Bob Johnson. He's screaming as usual in underneath the Collingwood player, and he's scragged, but he gets away with it. And now it's down towards Laidlaw, but oh, there's players all over the top of him. It's a ball up right in that centre half forward position for Melbourne. Down now to where Fripp kicks off the ground, as it's Roweth in turn has another kick at it to go out of bounds on Collingwood's forward line. Roweth played quite well for Melbourne today in that full forward position, although I don't think he has scored a goal. There's a nice knockout by Gablich over towards Rose. He just goes round Hutchison nicely, and his kick goes over the line, out of bounds on there, well, just clear of the half-back flank position on the inner side of the ground. As far as we can ascertain, it looks like Henderson off the ground for Collingwood when Beers came, at least not Beers, Brewer came on as 19th man. Just trying to pick up Brewer now, Eric. He appeared to be on that half-forward flank when he came on, but he looks like he could be on the ball. He's right down in the play down this end. Harrison this time, a punch out to where Turner bolts nicely, left foot back into the centre of the ground, where it's Wiedemann, tried to take a one-hander, but Lord coming through strongly has swept it away. He's still in the van, but it's gone off the side of his foot, picked up by Beers. Beers puts it out onto that half-forward flank where it's little Burns in underneath it. He got it on the second bite, and he's played on. He's up the centre of the ground. His kick's gone over onto the other half-forward flank where, oh, the Melbourne player coming up the other way got the best of that duel. Players coming in from each direction had a kick at it, and it came back Melbourne's way to go out of bounds on their half-back line. Fallows and Mann. Fallows down in the direction of Burns. He bolts nicely, and his kick has been smothered, though. And it's Mann coming through, endeavouring to pick it up, but it's kicked off by Turner. Now it's Lord. He hasn't picked it up, but he smothered it as Willett tries to handball over to Dwyer. But it's Beckwith this time, and Turner comes in and he steadies, but he's spoiled has he kicked. And now Chazzy Johnson has it. He handballs desperately, and Wiedemann's falling all over the top of it. Oh, the boys look nice and tired there. Have a look at who is it. Thorogood. He looks completely done at this stage. Man, up on top of that ruck once again, and he hammers it down, put it out of bounds on Melbourne's half-back line. Woolman's having the better of these ruck duels in this last quarter, as you can see. It's over the back now to where it's Harrison. He picks up handballs to Dwyer, and Dwyer's left foot. It's only 1 point, though. Oh, they badly need goal. Well, there's a remarkable thing. Collingwood's first point for the day under conditions such as this, when you expect points to be rattled on. Melbourne have kicked actually 12 of them.
Melbourne score 7-12, 54 points. Collingwood 2-1, 13 points.
Yes, apparently he wasn't on the ball there, Eric. As you say, he's chasing kicks. He certainly was chasing them. He was well down on that half-back line. It's Taz Johnson's kick over onto the half-back flank where Barassi went down. I don't know, just couldn't exactly see why, but he's still on the ground at this stage. The ball has gone up. Oh, look at Tunbridge on that centre wing position, streaking away, picks up beautifully, and punts it to go out of bounds up on their half-forward flank. What a lovely mover this Tunbridge is. The only part of his game that breaks down is his kicking. If he was a neat kick, he'd be practically the complete footballer. It's a throw-in on the half-forward line. It's over the back to where it's Turner, picks up, gets round onto his left foot, but had to handball it.
And it's still over on the wing where it's Gray this time. Handball's back to Turner. Turner's going wide out on the flank there. His kick goes up. Oh, no, it's gone out of bounds on the centre wing position, or a little forward of the centre on that outer side of the ground. Well, the crowd is remarkably silent for a grand final. And the sun's come out just to rub it into, salt into the wound. It's still on that outer flank, right on the line, and we'll go over the bounds once, over the line, out of bounds once again. It's Trevor Johnson in the ruck for Melbourne this time, but Gavlich coming the other way got it, but Lord was in over the top of it and actually carried the Collingwood player out of the play. To throw up right on that outer wing position, Gavlich once again caps it down, but there's players falling all over it. It'll need to be another one, I think. Yes, umpire Irving has had his time cut out in this quarter trying to keep this play open. Ball dropped down without any particular player getting the knock, and it's another scramble once again. Well, I think it'll pay the umpire to really push them out and try and open the play out in some way. Gavlich again, and Harrison carried it on with another knock, but it's Mann coming in, playing that kick behind. This time it's Beers gets his kick back up towards Collingwood's forward pocket where it's gone out of bounds.
Interesting to note now, Bill, if you look on the ground, there's not one player on the members' side of the wing. I think every player's on the other side of the ground.
Yes, unfortunately it's developing into a bit of a scramble, Jeff. It's a pity really for a big crowd such as this when they got good value for their money last week, but I'm afraid they're not getting it today. The kick has come up into the full forward position for Collingwood. It's over the back, and it's Thorogood in front. He picks up nicely there, and his kick has gone further afield, right on the line in the half-back flank position where Mann, oh, that was good play. Good play as he went right on the line, tried to hook it over his head to Dixon, but the boundary umpire ruled that it was out of bounds. It's Bob Johnson in the ruck for Melbourne. He caps down nicely to Dixon, who handballs out nicely to Mithun, and Mithun's kick goes up onto the half-forward flank where it's Ridley in front, but Reeves spoiled him nicely. This time it's Mick Toomey. Toomey hooks it over, but it's Dixon to take the mark, and he plays on. His kick goes down onto the half-forward flank, over the back, where it's Rowers leading in the race. The ball well in front. His left foot's a beauty. It's gone right through the middle. Well, there's Rowers. A goal for Melbourne. That
takes Melbourne's score on to 8 goals, 12 behind, 60 points. Collingwood 2-1-13.
Here's another entertaining idea from Ballantyne, and it's a real beauty. The Ballantyne Natural Choice Range. Yogurt sultanas, tropical party mix, ambrosia fruit selection, cardamom nut selection, honey and nut granola. For goodness sake, eat naturally. You will with Ballantyne's Natural Choice, the natural alternative as a snack or for sheer enjoyment. There's no doubt about it. It's another Ballantyne winner.
Do something for yourself. Join the Army Reserve.
Boy, oh boy. Makes you wonder.
Sure does.
Where did they get the money for that?
Mercantile credit. Oh.
Where did they get the money for that?
Mercantile credit. Where did they get the money for that? Mercantile credit. And that.
And that.
And that.
And that.
Where did they get the money for that?
Aha.
Mercantile credits. You call us.
Mum, let me tell you about the 2-litre packs of Patra fruit juice drink. They contain 35% fruit juice. That's 40% more than any other fruit drink. Now, apart from the 40% more goodness, Patra tastes great. And that's what the kids love. And you love Patra fruit juice drinks because you know they're good for them. Orange, orange and mango, and passion fruit, all with 40% more juice. Patra fruit juice drinks, 40% more juice, and a real taste treat, naturally, from Patra.
Rowers' first goal for the day. A rather strange, remarking to Jeff early in the game there where we were saying, at least during that third quarter, we were mentioning that he had played well Jeff pointed out that he had only kicked, or at least at that stage, he had not kicked any goals, but still has played a good game for Melbourne. It's just past Adams as Bob Johnson has a lunge at it, but it's O'Dwyer comes through for Collingwood. His kick goes up onto the half-forward line, where it's dropped down to where Thorogood again coming through strongly for Melbourne. Puts the kick up onto Melbourne's half-forward line, where Rose fell all over it as Hutchison comes in, but just failed to pick it up. It's Swift coming back up the way. Puts the kick up onto the centre wing position, where Gray takes a mark on his own for Collingwood. He's looking for... It's Gabelich further afield, but it's going to drop in Farrell right on the line. It must be out of bounds. Bad luck for Collingwood there, as Gabelich gathered it in nicely, but he took it over the line. There's Hutchison been taken off as Chapman comes on for Collingwood. Play has been in progress for 10 minutes in this last quarter, and the ball is up on Collingwood's forward line, but it's been kicked off by Taz Johnson over to where Keneally and Dwyer both overran it. Dwyer got back first, picked up and put it up into the forward pocket, where it's marked by... It's Beers for Collingwood in that forward pocket position. Would be a comparatively easy shot would be about 40 or at least 35 yards out on a very slight angle. A good kick, Beers should not have any trouble with this shot. Looks a nice one, but I think it may have drifted over. It's 1 point only for Collingwood.
Collingwood going to 2-2-14 to Melbourne's 8-12-16.
And Chapman, when he came on the ground there, went straight onto the wing to take Hutchison's place on that on Dixon, that is, the Melbourne winger. Taz Johnson kicking out for Melbourne now. Fair sort of punt kick over on that half-back flank position, where it's Keneally at the back. They put the ball further afield, and it's gone out of bounds on the centre wing position. Well, one thing in favour of the crowd here today is the fact that there's been very little rain from the moment the game started. Although the damage had been done early when we got quite a heavy shower just after 12 o'clock. The ball is up on Collingwood's forward line, at least Melbourne's forward line at this stage has gone out of bounds on the forward pocket position. Actually left the umpires well behind, as the boundary umpire's just reaching it to throw it in. Players coming up to take their position. It's Bob Johnson, hooks it over and back towards Adams, but Adams is having trouble getting out. It's Burns, I think, by the look of the style of him going down that outer side of the ground. His kick further afield, right on the line on the half-forward flank position, but it's Beckwith who picks up. He's tackled as he kicks, and his kick goes straight up in the air. Turner just failed to hold it, and it was Case who got the kick off the ground, where Bob Johnson handballs out to Dixon. Dixon, nice sidestep. His long handball back towards Bob Johnson, who kicked off the ground, and it's Laidlaw coming in from Melbourne. Laidlaw, the centre half-forward, screws it round in the direction of Barassi, but he's met solidly by Thripp, and the ball goes over the line and out of bounds. Just round from the behind post on the Melbourne forward line, Melbourne kicking towards the Richmond end. Fallows grabbed it with both hands and tried to throw it down to Gray. He was successful, and Gray's kick up onto the centre wing position, where it's Trevor Johnson has a shot, and it looks all right. We'll wait for 1 point only. It just went the wrong side of the post. That's another point for Melbourne, taking their score to 8 goals 13, 61 points to Collingwood, 2 goals 2, as Rosenbrock kicks off, and it's a weak one. Hasn't kicked off very well at all today. The mark is taken by Laidlaw in the centre half-forward position. Well, the pattern of this game is very similar to the second semi-final when Fitzroy played Melbourne. At least Collingwood playing very similar to the way Melbourne, at least Fitzroy, played in that semi. Laidlaw's kick has gone off to the forward pocket, where it's Barassi struggling desperately here. He's been thrown out of that pack, but there's no free kick, as it's Rose that gets the kick back into the centre position, where Turner and Mithen go for it. It's over the back towards Beckwith. He met Turner very solidly. Now it's O'Dwyer. He's tackled by Beckwith, and he will take a free kick. Oh, but his kick's a bad one. It's gone straight across the centre wing position, at least the centre line, to be marked by the Melbourne winger Dixon. His kick right down onto the forward line. Oh, one player, Collingwood player, Harrison, went for that with one hand. It's been handballed out now to where Fripp picks up nicely, and his kick wide out onto that outer wing position as Keneally leads in the race, but the ball will beat him, go out of bounds on the outer ground side. Players looking very tired at this stage, and it looks like they may be a little bit disinterested. Johnson stage one there, but with no result, as Trevor Johnson picks it up, puts it over towards Tunbridge. Tunbridge coming in, picks up nicely his kick up into the full forward position, but it's marked safely by Rose, the Collingwood defender. Rose appears to be going straight down the ground with this kick, possibly the only avenue at this stage for Collingwood. Bob Johnson just failed to hold that one. It's kicked off the ground to where it's Trevor Johnson this time, over in the direction of Mann. Now it's Gray coming in for Collingwood. A high kick up to where Lord leads in the race, but he went for one hand. It's handball. Thorogood cut that off. It was a nice piece of handball over to Brewer, but Thorogood intercepted lovely. Gray has it at his feet, but he's tackled by Mifflin and has to handball desperately. Thripp gets the kick. Down into the centre where it's Turner on his own. Steadies, puts it up into that forward pocket position where O'Dwyer slipped just at the critical moment. It's Keneally, Beers and O'Dwyer, but Keneally gets there first and a wild kick puts it right on the line on that centre wing position to go out of bounds. Out the throw in on the outer side of the ground, it's Fallows and Bob Johnson. Fallows taps down, but it's Adams that takes it. Goes away nicely from the throw in there. Puts it right down on that half-forward flank position, but it will go out of bounds on the outer side of the ground. Or would be a good 50 yards round from the behind post.
At this stage of the game, Bill, it seems that many of the people are leaving. The interest and excitement seems to have died out of the game, and they're leaving the rather packed MCG at the moment by their thousands.
It's Mifflin this time, his left foot. Oh, practically marked by Thripp, but he fell right over the top of it. But Rose cleared with a kick off the ground as Trevor Johnson comes back up the way, but his kick goes out of bounds on just on the behind post there on Melbourne's forward line.
Valentine present the new Pick Your Pack. Recommended retail price still only $1. Made from real chocolate, including almonds, peanuts, sultanas, fruit and nuts. Pick Your Pack at your friendly milk bar. I reckon Pick Your Pack is the best chocolate value in Australia. And it's still only $1. I don't know how they do it. Pick Your Pack. Yes, it's the new Valentine. Pick Your Pack. See it. Buy it at your favorite store. Valentine, proudly Australian.
Once upon a time, Nige wanted to be a TV star. Bert said, "A TV star? Be your own. Buy a video camera and portable backpack from Canberra TV." Shortly after, Nige was seen shooting the footy, around home, weddings and more. Later, Nige, family and friends would all gather and enjoy replays of new stars being born. Now the moral is, if you want to be your own TV star, buy a portable video system from Canberra TV. You'll be entertained happily ever.
As Australia's leading lights, these 7 building societies have formed a bright new star, the National Permanent Network, with $4 billion in assets. A network with extra benefits for every Hotham investor. And Hotham remains a star in its own right, the brightest in Victoria. The National Permanent Network, Australia's new $4 billion superstar.
They say I'm the biggest ham around. Well, it takes the biggest to know the best. And my vote goes to these terrific Mayfair hams. All sizes, all price ranges. And with Christmas coming on, you've just got to have Mayfair in the house. There'll be lots of friends and relatives around, God bless them. And that's no time for a ham that turns out to be a turkey. Mayfair, they're just as juicy as you are.
Who's the biggest turkey around, Dougie?
Trainer went out with a message to Ridley there. We'll just wait with interest to see what it is. Fallows once again taps down to Harrison. His kick straight up the ground. A rather risky one, but still it paid off as Chapman took the mark. His kick back out towards Thorogood and Brewer. Thorogood, got away from Brewer nicely there, but Rose just failed to grab that as Brassey coming in solid. It's back to Rose, but he's caught by the Melbourne players. And man, this time it's Reeves who handballs back to Harrison, but his kick goes off his foot and out of bounds.
Collingwood teams seem rather dejected at this stage of the game, Bill, don't they?
Most dejected, Jeff. It's a shame, really, for such a big crowd for the game to peter out such as it has. Fallows over the top to Harrison. Harrison steadying. He puts his kick right up onto that centre wing position. It's over the back of the pack. But as Taz Johnson smothered that one nicely, as Willett picks up, his kick just screws off the side of his foot to where this time it's Mann, and he hooks it back nicely, but Brewer tried to keep in and mark the ball over the line, but the ball was well out of bounds. We're just waiting to see who has gone off there. Fellows, a lovely one over the back, but Mithun intercepted nicely as Mithun's gone down once again. I just failed to see what took place there, but umpire Irving is standing over the top of him to prevent any further scene. Although the players don't seem altogether upset about whatever has taken place. Usually if in an incident like that you find that the players come in and start pushing and shoving each other in all directions, but this was not the case. Mithun to take the free kick, however, and his kick up onto the half-forward flank is right on the line, and it's gone over the line, out of bounds once again.
About 7 minutes of play left in this final quarter of the 1960 Grand Final.
Oh, Fellows and Mann having quite a tussle there at that throw-in. I don't know if that particular incident early, prior to the throw-in, was in the picture, but they were having quite a little niggle at each other, and Fellows came back there and hit Mann rather solidly in the back, and Mann will take the free kick. Mann's kick, he's put it right out on the line, down in that forward pocket position where the ball has been carried over the line, out of bounds, right on the race where the players come out. Fellows this time back down towards Harrison. Harrison playing that ruck rover job rather well. It's Chapman this time breaking away from the pack, still on the ball, but hello, back on the play there. There seems to be a little bit of a skirmish, and umpire Irving was right in the middle of it. But he straightened it out, and it's a free kick apparently to Harrison. This is easily Harrison's best quarter for the game. Has played quite well for Collingwood during this quarter. His kick up into the centre wing position where it's marked by Brewer. Brewer leading the ball in front of Thorogood there. His kick goes up onto the half-forward line where it's Willett this time, led Taz Johnson, or was not paid the mark, as it's kicked wide out onto the wing where Dixon takes a safe one for Melbourne. Dixon going round the line now. He's playing on. His kick is marked by Laidlaw. Grip falling at the critical moment. Laidlaw in turn goes round the line, puts it down. It's gone over the line actually, out of bounds once again. Well, it's still 6 goals, 11 the difference. What a margin. It's practically taken all the interest out of the game. It's over the back from the throw-in as Laidlaw comes in, gives it a strong one. Ridley is down this time, and there's been another penalty paid further afield. There's a little bit of trouble here as umpire Irving came back just to ensure that it did not develop. But he has paid the penalty further afield where Roweth will take the kick. He's going to tap it on to Adams. Adams made position lovely there. Collingwood players were a little asleep. As Adams summed up the position, there was paddocks between Roweth and the goal. Adams raced into the paddock and Roweth tapped it over in fine style. Adams would be about 30 yards out on just a slight angle. His kick has gone off though. It's right on that behind post. It's out of bounds, right on the behind post on the Melbourne forward line.
About 5 minutes to go in this last quarter, and the police are coming onto the ground now to see that the crowd don't get on at the end of the game.
Dwyer breaks away there, but he puts it over in the centre wing position, but there's not a Collingwood player anywhere near where he kicked that ball as Keneally takes the mark all on his own. And it's a nice kick by Keneally right back into that forward pocket position where it's Bob Johnson took a mark on his chest over the top of the Collingwood player. Shows the advantage of the taller player under these conditions, although Collingwood have more than their share of tall players and they have had very little impression on the game. Johnson is only about 30 yards out on his right side, should not be any trouble as he puts it through for 1 point only for Melbourne. Well, that was a rather bad miss from Johnson's point of view.
There's one thing I love about Patra orange juice. Very simply, it's the oranger orange juice. If you want your juice any oranger, you'll have to squeeze it yourself. Patra orange juice tastes oranger than others, and that's no idle statement. The only way to describe Patra is that it's the oranger orange juice. Oranger, the full-flavored orange juice from Patra. Ah, no doubt about it. Patra, the oranger orange juice, is luck.
IBM put a lot of what it knows about computers into the IBM personal computer, not to make it complicated, but to make it simple. So it's easy to understand and easy to use. IBM made its personal computer to help a person be more productive, to help a person be more creative. And those are good reasons for a person to feel good. The IBM personal computer, another small computer from IBM.
Just as these three atoms become one molecule, so these three paints becomes the one solution to all the interior painting needs. Why three? New vinyl for a great matte finish on walls. New satin is a semi-gloss, tough enough for windows and doors. And new gloss for a genuine full gloss. And of course, they all wash out in H2O, and marks just wipe off. British Paints, a perfect formula for all your interior painting. Trust British Paints? Sure can.
Are you fed up with annoying biting insects that always spoil your outdoor fun? Not anymore. Bug Zapper is here. Bug Zapper's ultraviolet light attracts insects like a magnet, eliminating them from around your pool, barbecue, patio, and backyard. Bug Zapper, completely safe, easy to install, weather-resistant to rain and sun. Bug Zapper effectively kills insects over an area up to 1 acre. Throw away those spray cans, get a Bug Zapper. 3 sizes from your nearest Mitre 10, Home Saver, or Pro Store.
2 for Melbourne and Collingwood 2-2-14.
It's Farragut gone off the ground as Lay comes on for Melbourne. Lay going on to that half-back flank. Adams has gone off at the other end of the ground, and it's Nilsson come on in his place. Nilsson going right in onto the ball on that outer flank position. Well, Melbourne realising they have the game won at this stage, giving their 19th and 20th a run and letting them have some part in the play as it's been up to this stage. It's right on Melbourne's forward line as it's kicked desperately off the ground over to where it's Delante coming through, sidesteps nicely, but his kick was a poor one. It's right in the centre. Turner this time, his nice sidestep and his kick smothered, but it's Burns, kicked off by Lay, his first kick for the game. Turner again just dribbles it clear as Lay has another kick off the ground. Remarkable how the 19 men in each instance coming on seem to be full of vim and vigour, and they get their share of kicks in the first few minutes.
It's not very hard to pick up the 90s men too when you look at the crowd of players there. They're very, very clean indeed.
The ball is out of bounds now on that outer wing position, right on the centre wing position, with the players all pace and tempo gone right out of the game at this stage, as Melbourne still hold 6 goals, 12 lead, the equivalent of 8 goals. It's over the back now as Harrison's kick, again a poor one. It's marked by Dixon in the centre of the ground, right in the mud patch. Well, the day is beautiful at this stage with the sun shining, but the ground is still in a bad condition. It's Lay again onto it as he kicks off the ground, and in turn it's followed up by Trevor Johnson, but it's Chaplin this time. Just as he was to kick, he was tackled solidly, and Dixon was the boy to get the kick and put it up to where Ridley's leading. Ridley's got right in amongst that. He just managed to tuck his head in time as the ball is kicked up towards Hassaman. He is tackled by Bob's brother, and the ball has gone out of bounds right on the line. At least right on the half-forward flank position for Melbourne. Fellows taps down. We've got very little result with it as Ridley intercepted, and it has been kicked out again on the same position on that half-forward flank for Melbourne on the inner side of the ground.
8-14-62 Melbourne, Collingwood 2-2-14, and about 2.5 minutes left to play.
Fellows taps it down to Harrison once again as Dixon just took it out of his path, but it's Rose intercepted nicely for Collingwood. Looking for Turner in the centre, as it was Trevor Johnson, just walked right over the top of him. But there's a free kick now. Not a free kick, it's a throw-up on that centre line position. It's tapped out nicely to Dixon. His kick in turn is marked by Thripp as he intercepted the pass to Bob Johnson. Thripp back into the centre of the ground. They're not getting a great deal of distance with their kicks at this stage. Mithun swinging wildly with his feet. And it's Mann who gets the punch out over to where it's Keneally breaking away, still showing a bit of pace there. His kick has gone straight across the centre line, to where it's Brewer, endeavouring to pick it up, but he's right on the line as Dixon just tapped it out from his hands to go out of bounds on that centre wing position once again. His man and fellow still having a tussle here under this throw-in. Oh, they're coming in from all directions. Bob Johnson seemed to get a nasty one there. But it's Brewer again picks up. He's tackled by Beckwith, and Beckwith was right in over the top of him. But Brewer breaking away nicely. No, but his free kick for throwing the ball. Bad luck there. He is struggling desperately. And it's Leahy to take the kick for Melbourne. And it's not a bad kick up in the direction of Laidlaw, but it's over the back where Turner following up nicely. Oh, little handball to Thripp, but Thripp was right in underneath Laidlaw and had very little time. He's kicked right over on the outer wing position where it's Keneally. Oh, just taps it over towards Tunbridge. Tunbridge way out on his own. This boy will show you what to do with it with a yard start. He just screws it off the side of his foot to Barassi in the forward pocket. So easy for Melbourne at this stage. Barassi would be about 40 yards out on his wrong side, but not on a particularly acute angle. And there goes the siren to end what has been a disappointing game, with Melbourne taking out the premiership for 1960 with a convincing victory.
8-14-62 to Melbourne in the 1960 grand final. Collingwood a disappointing 2-2-14. Lord was best on the ground, the Melbourne player. Bob Johnson, Adams and Hassaman kicked 2 goals each for the Demons. And for Collingwood, Henderson and Gabalik were their only goal scorers. So 8-14-62 to 2-2-14 in the 1960 grand final. We're going to take a break on the football marathon and come back with last year's epic grand final between Richmond and Carlton. Back in a moment.
What you're about to see will shock you. The jarring shock of heel strike can cause serious injury and pain to sportsmen and women, or anyone often on their feet, like heel soreness, Achilles tendinitis, leg injuries and backache. That's where new Superlean fits in. Lightweight inner soles and heel pads to take the brunt of the impact and save you the shock. Superlean. Shock absorbers for your feet.
If you're just doodling around, thinking about a new car, holiday, house extension, anything, we can provide the finance you're after through a State Bank personal loan.
82, grand final day, that one day in September, as today is, of course. The teams were Carlton and Richmond. 107,000 people were there. Central umpires Glenn James and Rowan Sawyers. Here's the last quarter.
Final quarter at the MCG now of the 82 grand final, 81-64 in favour of Carlton. They kicked 5-4 to 6 behind in that term. Knocked away by Mark Lee from the centre bounce. Up it comes to Waitman. Bounce doesn't favour Harms. Duel, well tackled by Bartlett. Back to Waitman, fumbles, scooped out, taken by Roach. A long shot. Jess in the goal square. Has he marked? Bartlett snaps for goal in the meantime. It's a goal. That's just what they wanted to start the final term. 3 goals to Kevin Bartlett. And they couldn't have really wished for a better opening to the final stanza of play. 11-15, 81 to 10-10-70.
Well, it did work out as Richmond probably hoped anyway, but I was very surprised. And we watch again on replay. For mine, it was a mark to Jimmy Jess, and we'll see again now. And I know that if I'd brought one down like that, I'd expect to be paid a mark. But it doesn't matter from a Richmond point of view, because I know they do not care who kicks the goal as long as there's 6 points on the board to Richmond, and that's their first since half-time.
Yes, they kicked only 6 points during that third quarter, but they added 5-1 during the second term, and once again the grand final comes alive here before a crowd of in excess of 100,000 fans. 11 points the difference after Kevin Bartlett brought up his third goal, 81-70 as we await the bounce. Jones to Ashman, good ruck work, intercepting was Wiley. Oh, got nudged in the back, or tripped. Free kick to Robert Wiley, and Wiley to take the free kick a little bit short of centre half forward. Long for Cloak, can't take it. Bartlett there again. Oh, ran into Ashman solidly, good tackle, holding the ball, free kick.
Tell you what, they don't give Bartlett much chance, these umpires. As soon as they say down he goes, they give the free kick holding the ball, Bob. It may have been another 15-metre penalty against Bartlett. He's not too happy about the decision going up the game.
He did have opportunities to get rid of the ball, Lou. He had time to go one way, then the other. And, you know, I know it probably seems as though he gets harshly treated, but I think he gets the harsh treatment from the opposition more than anything else.
Punched away again by Bortolotto. Finally back to Roach. The Tigers got a chance to go back into attack, but there's Aspen on the way to take the mark at centre half back. Carlton gets the ball back there. Chance for Mark Kerry's got it. And at the moment, it's only 11 points the difference, and the Tigers in there with a real chance for the 1982 grand final. Another short pass, but Buckley dropped the mark. Buckley still plays in front there, spins out of the pack, runs into Landy. Big Jones tries to get a hand pass out. Oh, Kane got one on the head that time, and the umpire will ball it up out there on Carlton's half-forward line, about 55 metres out from their goal. Lee and Fitzpatrick. Actually, Fitzpatrick got it down. Rioli tries to spin out of the pack the first time. He does the second. And it's a left foot kick back to centre field. The back is Waitman. Nearly grabbed. He's got the mark.
Great effort.
A beautiful mark over a much bigger player than himself. He's hurt himself too. A hand pass coming over to Wiley. And Wiley with a long kick looking for David Cloak at the back. Couldn't hold the mark. Backing up as Dill tapped out the Bartlett. Down goes Bartlett. Nearly one in the back. But he didn't find it. Finally picked up by Dill. And Carlton take the ball away from the danger zone with a pass out there to Perovic.
Perovic to Johnston. Knock on.
Well, while it's out of bounds, Peter, I really felt that it was a free kick to Bartlett down there on that forward line.
And obviously the umpire didn't, though. I got the impression that Bartlett helped himself along with a little bit of a nudge. Lee does it well. Gets around Ashton. Well played. Up to half forward. They're close to the boundary line. The chance for Perovic. Oh, Scrag high. Perovic goes after Welsh. Hunter has the ball. Had a very good game after being almost KO'd in the first quarter. Landy. Rioli. Mervyn Kane moving well through centre field. Oh, that's got to be in the back. Free kick to Richmond. Dale Waitman, the recipient. Jess. That's got to be a mark.
Well, Jimmy Jess is not the most popular guy at the ground here by the Carlton supporters.
Well, Jimmy Jess will certainly get the distance. The accuracy we don't know about. 30 metres out, directly in front of the scoreboard in goal. A goal he would make it 5 points the difference. He has converted. Jimmy Jess bringing up goal number 1 for him for the afternoon. The Tigers 11-10, 76 to 11-15, 81.
Well, since quarter time, Pete, you would really think that the wind was having a big effect on the way the scoring has gone. Richmond kicking 5 goals to 2 in the second quarter. Carlton kicking 5 goals to 0 in the third term, and now Richmond with 2 quick goals.
5 points the difference. 81 to 76 in the 1982 grand final from the MCG. Jimmy Buckley on centre wing position, trying to get past Rioli. Well played from Buckley, but he can't gain possession. Rioli does on the boundary line, almost like a rugby league touchdown. A free kick going to the Richmond Rover. Morris Rioli playing off. Long to half forward. Welsh. Hunter. Perovic. Loses it. Back to Ken Hunter. Good handball taken by Mayland. Mayland back to Perovic, and the Blues go forward.
And the ball coming out there now to Aspen on the centre wing position. Drives it down towards the half-forward line. The ball will be out of bounds. About 50 metres around from the Carlton goal.
Landy bleeding freely.
Oh, very nasty cut across that left eye of Landy's. It's been a tough game today. One of the toughest grand finals we've seen for a long, long time. Off the top of the pack now and got that one. Quick kick down that time by Bazasto. Coming to meet it now is Dunn and takes a mark. Looks to me if McClure was limping a bit down there, Bob, too.
But it'd be a bit surprised, Lou, because he was in doubt before the game started. Let's face it.
15-metre penalty, and the difference now only 5 points in favour of Carlton. We've played about 7.5 minutes of this last quarter of the 1982 grand final. Jones going in pretty hard there, and the ball is finally forced out of bounds. Still about 45 metres around from the Carlton goal. Well, there's nothing in this match. That's how it's been all day. Finally knocked away by Strawn. Coming to meet it now is Rawlings. Gets a hurried kick even though he's grabbed. That great mark to Little Waitman. He's starting to fire again in this quarter. 15-metre penalty. And this gives him a chance to send them really deep into attack.
Goes for a short pass out wide under that help bump that Wiley's got on his own. Finally across there towards Jess coming in for the fly. Got up high, couldn't hold the mark. Now it's Roach kicking it off the ground. Finally it comes to land. He couldn't pick it up. This gives England a chance, but he's having a lot of trouble doing likewise. Out to Glasgow. Glasgow's grabbed, and he'll get a free kick against Roach. And Glasgow to take that free kick out there at half-back.
He's limping too.
So the difference is only 5 points in favour of Carlton. Can they hang in there and win this grand final for the second time in a row? A long hand pass coming out there to English. A long kick back there towards the half-forward line. Tapped on by Martello, and the ball is out of bounds about 70 metres around from the Carlton goal.
7.5 minutes gone, final term. Lee and Fitzpatrick. Knocked down to Bazasto. Fitzpatrick again. Solid mark. Richmond fans don't agree. Carlton skipper. Very good second half. 17 kicks he had. And that's a good effort. Speaks for itself. Well, plenty of Richmond players are there. Kane, Johnston late on the scene. It's on centre wing. Hunter and Welsh. Play on, says the umpire. Welsh grab. Mayland comes in. Welsh gets run in the back, and he'll get the free kick. Well, what was your decision? Peter Welsh, centre wing. Short pass. Jones is there. So too is Dool backing up. Plenty of Carlton players making sure it didn't go to Richmond hands. Johnston at half-forward. Oh, dropped the sitter. Fitzpatrick. Long kick by the Carlton skipper off target, and that will make the difference. I think an even goal. 3 for 1 behind. And at the MCG, 76-82 in the 82 grand final.
And we're just over the 8-minute mark of this last quarter, and it's a goal the difference. Kick out there to Dunn. He's got the mark a little short of half-back. Both sides pretty tired, but Carlton seemed to me as if they have a couple of players limping out there. Dunn nearly messed this up. As a matter of fact, he did mess it up.
Call play on with the umpire, Lou.
Call play. There's a free kick to Bazasto against Martello. Oh, he said dropping the ball. I don't know what you thought about that, Bob, as we see Martello kick the ball back now. A fumble that time by Little Way, but he got one in the back. Taps the ball back. And the umpire said it'll be against him for scooping it. And the free kick to go to Wayne Johnson towards centre half forward. A short pass, it's a good one. And McConville's got the mark about 45 metres out from goal. He's going for another short pass, it'll be okay, and Aspen's got it. And he's pretty close to the goals. He'd only be about 20 metres out, and Aspen's already kicked 2 goals.
Poor defence by the Tigers there. Mervyn Kane standing alongside a teammate on the mark. Aspen completely clear on his own.
Aspen coming in now for his 3rd goal. Oh, it's a shocking kick. And it's out of bounds on the full. So the Tigers still in there now, only 6 points the difference. That could have been the backbreaker, Bob.
Yes, they're the vital goals that you just cannot afford to miss.
Waiting on Dunn to bring this ball back into play. Dunn kicks the high kick out there towards the half-back line. Plenty of people flying for that, but the umpire's paid a mark. It'll go to land. It was a pretty good make. A courageous one. Hand pass over to...
Well, poor defence by the Tigers. And Peter Bazasto bringing up his first goal for the afternoon. Carlton 12-16, 88 points. Richmond 11-10, 76.
Inside the wheels of your car, your brakes are working hard, but little things do go wrong. Fluid leaks, parts wear out, overheating occurs. Your brakes become less efficient. Every brake system needs a patent brakes checkup every 6 months to find the little faults before they become big ones. It's only $6, and it's good to know your brakes are safe. Patent Brakes are the brake specialists. We have been for a long time. Check in for a checkup. See Patent Brakes for clutches too.
Although we may offer you a choice of hams, you really have only one choice. Lean, tender, juicy ham. Even our smallest baked ham has to be sugar-cured and gently smoked for at least 2 days before we'll put our name on it. So no matter which ham you choose, you can be absolutely sure you've made the right choice. You see, at Mayfair, we're just as choosy as you are.
Tonight, 7 turns on the grand final night entertainment. At 6:30, join us for the energy, the excitement, and the sellout concert performance from London's Royal Albert Hall. The Kids from Fame. And then at 8 o'clock, it's 7 Sports special football feature. That was the season that was. the moments of glory and those of defeat. A close-up look at the memorable highlights from season 83. At 9:30, we bring you more great action with a replay of the 1983 VFL Grand Final. And throughout the night tonight, you'll join the winners and the losers live for their celebrations and commiserations. One day in September, exclusively yours tonight through 7 Sport.
Minutes gone, final quarter, 88-76. Knocked down by Lee. Wakeman. Or collared too high by Johnston, a free kick. Oh, Brian Wood gets into the action. His moment one to go on with. 12 kicks, 10 handballs to Dale Wakeman. This one long, into the forward pocket. Hunter is there, Cloak at the back. Hunter claims the mark. Wood offloads him with a good hip and shoulder. Puts him into the photographers.
Played a pretty good game too, Hunter, Bob.
Oh, it's not a fine game, Lou.
Boundary throw in.
Doesn't he?
In the forward pocket. Knocked down by Jones. Wiley, well smothered by Marcoux. Kick is high towards right half forward flank. Augusto to Buckley. Or Sheldon it was. And Kane taking the ball over the line, not particularly interested in keeping it in, I don't think. And once again, we'll see a boundary throw in, this time at the left half forward flank for Carlton. Lee in front. Rioli. Perovic. Met solidly by Wood. The end result of all that is a ball up, which will take place on centre wing. Carlton leading by 12 goals here in the 1982 Grand Final. 2 goals, 12 points. Lee palms it straight to Marcoux. Ball smothered off the hand, out of bounds in the middle of the players' interchange area. We'll see a throw in at the 14-minute mark.
12 points the difference in favour of the Blues. The Tigers finding it very hard to wear them down as we see Waitman trying to get the ball through the pack. Buzusto buzzing there as he gets the ball over to Johnson. There's a pass. It's too long for McClure. Coming to meet it now is McConville. Well grabbed by Landy. Buckley cops 1-2 with the umpire called play on. Out there to Dunn. He falls over at a crucial time there. And the umpire's going to ball up about 30 metres out from the Carlton goal. They're making plenty of mistakes, Richmond, down there in defence at the moment.
If they haven't shown that cool, calm and collected approach under pressure, Lou.
Finally Dunn throws the ball out. Buckley's collared that time by Waitman, who's played a great game for the Tigers today. Been a great battler, Bob.
One of the players who has been consistent, like most of the Richmond players, quiet in the third term, but even then he was still doing his share.
Ball knocked out by the big fella Fitzpatrick, who's been a star here today. Rolls his kick is a bad one over to McClure. But McClure's off target, but that could be a very handy point. It puts them 13 points in front now, meaning the Tigers need 3 goals to win this one, and we're just over the 15-minute mark of the last quarter. So the Carlton side looking very good as the ball goes back into play again. Jones goes to Putz. Knocked away by Malin. Back to Lee. He's grabbed. Drops the ball. Umpire said play on. Gave him the benefit down as Kane clears the ball back out there to Wood. And Wood, he's got one around the chop that time for Malin, a 15-metre penalty. And he should get the ball down either Cloak or Jess, but they're both having trouble taking the mark in this last quarter. Ball comes down now to Wiley. Well tackled by Hart. Umpire call play. Will be a ball up this time about 25 to 30 metres out from the Richmond goal. My God, he's played a great game too, Harms.
By James having a word to Kevin Bartlett, thinking that Kevin's had too much to say.
Well, that's about the 3rd time he's chatted up the old timer today. One thing about Glenn James, he won't take any tomfoolery with it from these guys. He doesn't care what their reputation is. Out to Bartlett. Snaps towards the goals, but there's no one there for the Tigers, and an easy mark taken defence there by Wayne Harms. That's the boy I was talking about before. Since going on to Bartlett, he's made the world of difference.
He has too. Marcoux taking the mark, a little bit short of right half back flank. Bortolotto just gets clear. Wiley couldn't trap it. Sheldon's there. Rollings. Collared. Gould in the row. Never reliable. Short pass from Gould. Not a good one. Oh, Lee. Overran it completely. Glasgow gets a magnificent bounce. Absolutely ideal for him. Over the top to Buckley. In trouble. Met solidly. Landy's there holding the ball. Free kick to Graham Landy. Left half-back flank. Rains on centre wing. Puts the ball high. Looking for Lee. At the back. Bosustow. Lee has the mark. And plays on. Looks for Wiley. Wiley at centre field. Short pass out towards the right half forward flank. Ryan Wood. He's lifted his game in this final turn. Playing on. Handball to Welsh. Steadies. Shot at goal. One behind. So the scores 11-11, 77 to 12-17, 79. It's still 12 points the difference in the 1982 Grand Final. Anybody's match. Carlton naturally in the box seek to win it, but Richmond not giving in. Dool looking for a lead. Now he kicks it long. Jones and Roach has the speed, takes the mark. Roach would be about 55 to 60 metres out from goal. Former winner of the VFL goal kicking, played in the ruck this year mostly. Brian Taylor at full forward, but not playing today. He started at centre half forward. Lovely kick distance-wise, accuracy not what was required, through for one behind. He's kicked 3 points, Michael Roach, 78 to 89.
11 points the difference now, so the ball back into play by Bortolotto out towards that half. There's Rains getting up. It could be interference against Sheldon, no doubt about that. And Rains will take the free kick. Gaskett trying to keep over the mark. He'll have to come back a bit yet. That's the kick by Rains. Up there towards the Cloak. Cloak and Bortolotto going for this one. Cloak got up high, couldn't hold the mark. Bartlett comes in, he's got a chance to snap, but he's put it right across the face of goal. Taken away by Johnson. A beautiful pass out to Perovic. And the Blues take the ball away from the danger zone. Perovic kick is a long one. Down towards the Carlton half-forward line. Fitzpatrick comes in. Upended a couple of players and went down himself. Grabbed that time as Aston by Kane. Good attacking defence that time by Kane, but the ball is out of bounds. On the full, it'll be a penalty free kick to Carlton on their half-forward line. And to take the free kick could be Ashman.
Fitzpatrick really hobbling around there.
Fitzpatrick going off the ground, is he, or what? So where's he going, off the ground? That'll be a blow because there's still plenty of time for Richmond to win this match. 11 points the difference. Ashman's kick is up there towards the forward pocket. The back there was done. But grabbed that time was Kane. He's full of the ground, and the umpire will ball it up in the forward pocket position. Yes, Fitzpatrick off the ground at the moment in a bit of trouble with that ankle, I think it is, Bob.
The doctor having a look. And, Fitzpatrick.
11 points the difference. Ball knocked out by Dunn. Back there to Johnson. Snaps towards the goal. Not a bad sort of a kick either. Oh, touched on the line that time by Rawlings. A beautiful save that time. And it's still 2 goals the difference. So the score was 11 goals, 12, 78 Richmond. To Carlton, 12 goals, 18-90. And we're just on the 19.5-minute mark of this, the last quarter. Can the Tigers get up and win this match, Peter?
And can the Blues make it 2 premierships in succession? McClure and Dunn. Dunn caught, didn't seem to have the ball. Out comes Marku, got one too high, holding the ball. Free kick going Richmond's way as Emmett Dunn gets thrown in a judo throw by Marku. Dunn, of course, a policeman. He might arrest him. He has the free kick.
I have to admire the approach of Carlton since half-time, Pete.
Been great effort. Dunn, an awkward kick to the centre wing position. Rains couldn't trap it. Wiley can, over his shoulder. Perovic and Lee. The boundary line is close. Good handball by Lee, looking for Wood, who got one in the back. Wood playing on. Game effort. Jones. Malin. Picked up by Ashman, well tackled Rioli, out of bounds, and the throw-in will take place in front of the MCC member stand. That's right half forward for Richmond, 21 minutes gone. Can the Blues hang on? Knocked down by Lee. Rawlings. Dool and Jess. Dool.
I wonder whether whether Bosustow was the player responsible for Landy's eye, because
Pinsel's coming out. Landy has had his number taken by umpire Glenn James. It may have been, Bob. Was that the evener upper then, perhaps?
One wondered.
One by Glenn James, writing the appropriate numbers and the charges in the book. The offendee and the offendor. Busasto has a sore neck, but importantly for Carlton at the moment, he has the free kick and the 15-metre penalty, it would appear. So that brings Peter Busasto 15 metres, still he goes on. Play continues. Out wide is Malin and Wood. Out of bounds on centre wing. Still the difference is, let me see, 73 to 90 or 78 to 90. 12 points, 2 goals would see a draw for Richmond. Martello. Picked up by Wiley. Out wide is Glascott. Right on the boundary line. Glascott brings it back towards centre field. Buckley is there for Carlton. Likewise Robert Klomp. Long handball. Sheldon couldn't take it. Scoops it out to Klomp again. Very close to the boundary line. It's still in play. And it will be a ball up.
22 and a half minutes gone and still 12 points the difference in favour of Carlton. I've just got the feeling Carlton are going to hang in there, Bo, and win this one because Richmond don't seem to be playing on well enough at the moment.
I think from the moment they hit the front in that third quarter, Lou, their confidence went sky high, and now it's Malin who drives the ball towards centre-half forward.
There's a go from McConville to fire at the goals, but he's off target. He makes the difference, 13 points. A very handy point at this stage of the match as we approach, or just over the 23-minute mark. 78 points Richmond to Carlton 91. And there's a big chance that Carlton could win 2 on end now. Out it comes there, and the mark couldn't be taken by Dunn. Tapped on by McClure very smartly. Over to Mark 2. There's the one that's down. And that's the goal. I would say that's the premiership for Carlton for 1982.
It's Alex Marcoux' first goal, but wonderful play by Mark McClure. Almost a mark to limit zone as we see there the Carlton interchange bench. The skipper Mike Fitzpatrick. We watch on replay as the ball comes out. Almost a mark to done. And again, Steve McClure taps the ball forward to allow the little speedster in Alex Marcoux to spear that ball right through the centre.
24 minutes gone, final quarter. 97 to 78 is the score. Sevens big lead in the grand final.
And the ball comes out there to Wood. And the Tigers in the hot seat now as the ball finally pushed on by Rioli over to Hunter. But the Blues go back into attack. And at the moment they're 21 points in front. That's a pretty good lead at this stage of the match as we approach the 24.5-minute mark. And no wonder this crowd of 110,000, half from Carlton, or more than half Carlton supporters are rejoiced because they think they got the flag in the bag, and I'm inclined to agree with them as we see Rains come out of the pack that time down there at half-back. Shoots the ball back towards the wing position, but there's Dool. And look at these players really backing up now and making this game safe for Carlton.
Yes, and it's going to be even safer too, made that way by the weather because it's pelting with rain again as Busasto takes a beautiful grab right on the boundary line at left half forward for Carlton. Blues finishing with their tails up. Long kick by Busasto, an educated one perhaps because it landed about half a metre inside the boundary line, and it will be thrown back into play about 20 metres from the behind post.
I bet the Carlton coach hopes it keeps on raining now at this particular stage of the match, Peter.
Yes, I'll go along with that. Knocked down by Landy. Rains looking for and finding Wiley. Ashman to Busasto. Oh, it's like an ice rink out there. Rioli is legged. No free kick. Yes, it is.
Good play by Busasto, though, and not only that, his whole second half, Busasto hasn't had a lot of kicks, but the work he's done has been a lot of fine inspiration.
Rioli's kicked the centre wing. Jones. Roach. Over to Robert Wiley. That's a high one. Doesn't cover much distance. Bartlett in front. Knocked away by Harms. Backing up, though, is Hunter. And well done. Hunter puts the ball out wide. Right centre wing for Carlton. Finding Glascott, who's always got pace and seems to be able to get on his own easily. McClure and Dunn. Dunn has the mark, taking it in front of McClure. Almost into the time on period. In fact, we are. Kick towards centre wing. Buckley has the ball, but I don't think it will be his. It's a free kick going Richmond's way and will be taken by the blood-bespattered Graham Landy. Not a good day for him. Looks like a loss, a cut eye and a report. Roach on left centre wing. Roach plays on. Jones comes at him. Roach is down, but no free kick downfield. In front, Jessup, the back duel. Plenty flying for this one. Down to Rioli, but a free kick going Richmond's way. Arguably, you could say penalising the side, but David Pope has the free kick. at the 27-minute mark, and he's already kicked 3. Still rain falling. There's cloak fires at the scoreboard in goal. What's he done with that one? Hit the post, did it? Yes, it has. So one behind when Richmond badly needed a goal. 79 to 97.
18 points the difference now. I think time has run out for the Tigers, Bob, as we're at the 27-minute mark.
I feel sure time has run out, Lou, and although Close kicked 3 goals, you can take nothing away from the game of Mario Bordelotto.
Certainly not. As we see Hunter, another star player, going for a short pass. It's okay because Pizzusto's got it. That's goal number 2 to McConville, and they've won the 1982 grand final for sure now. 11 goals, 13, 79 Richmond. For Carlton, 14, 19, 103.
Yes, that really did sell it up, and Blues fans delirious here at the MCG. Despite the rain, it'll be a wet celebration. Watch it in replay. McConville taking advantage of the skill by Williams and making no mistake from 15 metres out. Back into the centre, 28 minutes gone in the final quarter. Richmond not doing enough. It's Carlton's flag. Oh, Landy clipping another one very, very solidly. This time he does look out for the count. He will get the free kick. Small consolation. Graham Landy at half-back. Wide to left half-forward. At the back of Perovic. Plenty of Carlton players there backing up, one of whom is Harms. Wiley tries to scoop it up. Knocks it forward. Bartlett calling for it. Can't get it though, and it will be a boundary throw.
We're at the 29-minute mark, or just over the 29-minute mark. And the Blues 103 points to Richmond 79. There's David Parkin down on the ground, the coach of Carlton. He knows they've won the game as Rioli has a snapshot for goal. And he may have put this one through for a goal, yes. But I think it's too late. That's 3 goals to Rioli. So the score at the moment is Carlton still 14-19, 103 to Richmond 12-13, 85. And we're just on the 30-minute mark. We see this in replay again.
Raj Rioli has certainly done his job for the Tigers. Took it nicely off the hands of the pack, and he has been one of the Richmond players that's good to hold his head high.
Centre bounce again. Rain still pelting down. But you can bet your life Carlton won't lose this one now as Big Jones gets the knockout down there towards the half-forward line. Coming into meters is Wood. A hand pass coming over now to Dunn. A long kick across there towards centre half-forward. Chance for Johnson to mark, and he does. But he'll slow it down because they know they've got this game.
And so 2 in a row to Carlton last year in the 1982 grand final. 14-19, 106.
Allen held whilst not in possession, so he'll put the Woods into attack.